As every Redskin fan knows, they've got to win them all down the stretch now to make the playoffs. Buffalo's a team that can upset good teams. They've beaten Atlanta and New England. Buffalo can throw the football, but the wind could be a factor, Nick.
Well, Don, they're the second best passing team in the AFC, and that's Ferguson to Bob Chandler. Chandler led the NFL in receptions last year. This year so far, he has 41 on the year. So if Buffalo's going to do anything, it has to be Ferguson to Chandler.
As every Washington Redskin fan knows, the team's problem has been the inability to generate points. Both quarterbacks warmed up today, Billy Kilmer and Joe Theismann. Theismann's going to get the start.
Well, they've gone through the youth movement. Joe Theismann, the quarterback, he throws for a lot of yards, Don, but he puts very few points up on the board. And if Washington's going to get to the playoffs, what they have to do, there's a lot of contention that they should be playing Billy Kilmer, the heart, the old man, the man who has a heart as big as this stadium. So we'll see. There's a lot of rumors going around that Kilmer may play today.
Well, of course, the Redskins will have a difficult time getting up after losing that tough game to Dallas last week that came so close, but they have to be up, can afford no more losses. And they have the Cardinals coming up next Saturday, so it's going to be tough. The Bills have won the toss, and they'll be receiving to start the game as they come out in their home uniforms, the blue jerseys, white numerals and white pants, and the Redskins trot out now. It's a very, very cold day. The temperature is about 28 or 30, but the wind is really gusting strong. It is going to be a factor. The field is frozen solid. There was some precipitation on it, and the chill winds have now frozen that field right down, so it's going to be a hard and very rock-hard field to play on, Nick.
Well, Jake Scott, I talked to him before the game, and he said that the Redskins need this game. They know they need this ball game, and they're up for it. A lot of people are saying they had a very poor practice this week in Washington, but Jake says, hey, look, we're old men. We know when it counts, we have to do it, and we're going to do it. So we'll see, Don, how the outcome of the game is going to be.
You get an idea of how strong the wind is as Mark Mosley has the ball up, and it's blown off the kicking tee. Keith Moody is going to be back deep for Buffalo. He is a second-year return man out of Syracuse. Got excellent speed. Buffalo has some good return men, and this is a very unusual team. Obviously, they're 2-9. They're going nowhere. They are nowhere. But they did beat Atlanta, and they did beat New England. And ultimately, those two losses to those clubs might cost Atlanta and New England a playoff spot. Mosley's kicking with a wind behind and hits a high spinner. Here's Keith Moody at the 15, to the 20, to the 30, and out of bounds. So the Bills will go on offense first and 10 as Larry Jones came down on teams to make the play for Washington. There are the interior blockers for the Buffalo Bills. These, for the most part, are the guys who were in there when O.J. Simpson went over 2,000. Kimbrough will start with Chandler as wide receivers. Reuben Gant is the tight end. Seymour's out with an injury, Paul Seymour. Ferguson, the quarterback. Roland Hooks and Jim Braxton, the setbacks. As you know, O.J. Simpson is out after undergoing knee surgery. Braxton, the big back out of West Virginia, crashes straight ahead out to the 40. So the Bills go behind their all-pro right guard, Joe Delamelier, and get the ball out to the 40. That's how the Skins break down on the front line. McDowell and Lorch are the defensive ends. Butts and Talbert are the tackles. Dusick, McClinton, and Curtis will back the line. Dave Butts, a new spelling there. Gerard Williams and Joe Lavender are at the corners. Now Mike Collier comes in the offensive backfield of Buffalo with Jim Braxton. Kimbrough in motion, 82. Mike Collier runs the football and gets ahead for, appears to be first down yardage, Nick.
One of the biggest problems so far for the Bills this year has been a disappointing effort of Jim Braxton. The big fullback, 6'1", 240 pounds, 6 years out of West Virginia, has carried the ball 84 times for only 271 yards, which is way below his average. Maybe they're saying O.J. Simpson's not there. That's the reason. But Braxton, I've played against him many times, Don. He's a super back, and I can't understand these statistics.
He's a full load, 240. First and 10, Buffalo at the Bills' 44. Free football. Ferguson eludes one man, then goes down. Nicely done by Brad Dusick, who was coming strong, and that arm tackle worked. Ferguson doesn't have a lot of weight, plays at about 188.
Looked like a busted play on that, Don. Looked like he wanted to hand the ball to Braxton, but he missed the handoff. Out there, it's really slippery, like you said. A lot of ice has formed on the field, so it could be a little treacherous today.
And I think, Nick, you're going to see a lot more fumbles before it's over because that wind is brutal. Chill factor has to be 0 or below.
Ferguson is throwing into the wind.
Going to be second And long yardage now for Buffalo. Ferguson takes a look. In the flat he goes, and Chandler with those brilliant hands makes the reception. He catches everything. Bob Chandler, former captain of Southern California Rose Bowl champion team. Just completing law school. He's a guy that, no matter how the Bills are doing, you always know you're going to see a good performance from Chandler. As you're pointing out, Nicky had 9 balls caught in the Oakland game Monday night.
That's right. Chandler is a legitimate all-pro, and he's working against number 45, Gerard Williams. If there's a weakness in our Redskins secondary, it is Williams.
John Kimbrough, wide to the left. Chandler is to the right. It is 3rd down and 10, so the Redskins will be teeing off and coming with a big pass rush. Linebackers drop in zone coverage. Ferguson throws downfield to Reuben Gant, and the ball is broken up by a guy who just plays great, strong safety, Kenny Houston. Houston and Eddie Brown, the deep backs for the Washington Redskins. There is a penalty marker down. It's in the Bills' backfield, however, so it could be a hold, and that's the signal against Buffalo.
Well, it's 3rd down and 10. I feel right now the Redskins are refusing to try to get the ball because Buffalo was punting into the wind, so they should end up with decent field position.
And that is the case. The Redskins decline the penalty, so punting into the wind now is Marv Bateman. He's got one of the better statistical averages. Hits the ball over 41 yards an attempt this year. And back deep for the Skins is fast Eddie Brown.
I love to watch Eddie Brown on punt returns, Don, because he does have that knack of eluding tacklers.
Usually right up the middle. He doesn't get fancy. Poor punt. Eddie Brown will have to feel it like a shortstop, and here comes the blue jersey, so he'll not get a return. The ball is down to the 23. A poor punt. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Buffalo Bills and the National Football League is prohibited. 32-yard punt, no return. There is the Washington interior line. Stokes and Stark are the tackles, Saul and Hermeling, the guards, and Len Hoss. The center, Buggs. He's catching a lot of footballs now for Washington. One wide receiver, Grant's the other. Fugit, the tight end. Joe Theismann's a quarterback with Mike Thomas and Clarence Harmon, the setbacks. Redskins have signed your old teammate Jim Kicknick.
Good receiver on the back.
Clarence Harmon gets the call and doesn't get too much. Nothing at all, as a matter of fact. That's Sherman White, number 83. He was the number 1 draft choice of Cincinnati a few years ago. Look over that defensive front of Buffalo. Ben Williams, Mike Kadish, Bill Dunston, and Sherman White. The linebackers, and this is a very suspect area of the Bills' very suspect defense. Shane Nelson is their best player. The linebacking core. He's a free agent out of Baylor, a rookie. Clark and Harrison at the corners. Shane Nelson, Merv Croker, and Dan Gillick, the linebackers. Tony Green, a very good strong safety, free safety from Maryland's back there, along with Doug Jones. Again, the Bills shut down the run. Shane Nelson came across to make the hit.
Well, Shane Nelson has been playing the best linebacker for the Bills all year. This is a strange story. This man really is a free agent who came in here and asked for a tryout, and the Bills sort of looked at him and wondered. But he's made it real big so far. There he is, number 52. Big, strong lad. Oh, that's Merv Croker, middle linebacker. Sorry.
You're partial to those free agents, aren't you?
Love to see those guys make it, Don.
It's 3rd and 10 now for Washington. Actually, about 3rd and 9. Dropping to throw. Theismann swings it out. Clarence Harmon has the ball, and he dives ahead and gets a first down. That last spin-off effort by Clarence Harmon got the necessary yardage, and the Redskins have a first down. Dan Gillick hit him. Let's watch that again.
Well, what they were trying to do is to get Harmon, they make a play-action pass, and they sift him through the line, trying to get the linebacker to go deep, which they do. Now watch the second effort by Harmon. He's really stuck here, but he shakes it off and makes the first down. That was a good effort by Harmon. Gillick had him, but Gillick let him go for the first.
Clarence Harmon, the rookie out of Mississippi State, isn't big, 5'11", 190. Got him playing fullback. Second back through is Mike Thomas, and he's cut down after a gain of only about a yard.
You know, Buffalo's the type of team, Don, that if you give them any acknowledgement that they could get in this ball game and win it, they can come up with a good effort. And so far, the defense looks like they are playing pretty decent out there. Theismann has the wind to his back, so if he's going to do anything, he has to do it this quarter, as far as throwing the football is concerned.
Mike Thomas run the ball well. Second down now coming for Washington. No score in the first quarter. Theismann lets her rip, and Frank Grant makes a diving attempt at the ball at the 35-yard line. Allowed out. Be third down and 9. Dwight Harrison was covering on the play. There's Frank Grant going back to the Redskin huddle. You can see Theismann, who knows how to play in cold weather. He spent 4 years in Toronto. Can't get much worse than this.
Calvin Hill just came into the ball game for Harmon. Calvin's a good receiver. But they say if there's one criticism of Theismann, it's that he's not patient. He won't go for the 4, 5, 6-yard passes that Kilmer's so famous for.
There's Coach Allen looking on attentively as the Redskins now have a long yardage play coming up, third down. No score in the first quarter. Theismann eludes the rush. He's going to run for a first down and a lot more. But there is a penalty marker down. Dan Gillick came in when he tagged him out there, but Theismann got about 15 yards on the run.
Well, that's one thing Theismann does do, of course, better than Kilmer, but you have that youth versus age. He was able to shake off the pass rush and make the first down, but it's against the Skins, and the Buffalo Bills will take the penalty, obviously.
Buffalo doesn't get to the quarterback much. In fact, they're about as weak a rushing team as there is, although they're generating a pretty good pass rush here.
Number 74, false start.
That's George Stark, we'll give credit to.
The Bills have only 15 sacks all season. That's through 11 games. And they only have, in the last 5 weeks, 2 sacks.
You know, an interesting statistic, Don, is that the Washington Redskins quarterbacks have been sacked 47 times so far this year. And a lot of that has to do with Theismann scrambling.
Here comes Mike Thomas, and he gets good yardage, running the ball out across the Redskin 40-yard line. Mario Clark ran him out of bounds.
Well, an obvious passing situation, and Theismann decided, well, they think it's going to be pass, so I'm going to run, which he did. Let's see if he got the first down. It's close. It is. It's a first down. Redskin first down, so it was a good call because it worked by Theismann.
The ones that work are all good calls.
Yeah, they're all great calls. Everybody said, gee, they caught the defense napping. But when they don't work, everybody boos because they should have thrown the football.
Here's something Washington fans will be interested in. The Giants are leading St. Louis 7-0. Bob Hammond just ran in from 15 yards out. Weaving and darting is Mike Thomas, and he gets across midfield. On a first down carry, watch the Washington blockers now as you took a look from the end zone.
There's a penalty flag down on the field, but let's watch the interior line. Hermeling, Saul, but just good moves by Thomas. Very elusive runner. When he wants to play football, there's very few backs who are better than Mike Thomas. You see it, 172 rushes this year for over 600 yards, which is a little below his average, but that's because John Riggins is not blocking for him.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 24. First down.
Doug Jones was unnecessarily rough, says Ben Dreith, the referee, and so the ball's advanced down to the 33-yard line of the Bills. So Washington now starting to mount a challenge in the first quarter. There's no score here at Rich Stadium. Mike Thomas gets ahead and down to the 30-yard line. Sherman White made the play. It looks like the Redskins are going to be able to run the ball pretty well against Buffalo.
Well, Buffalo has been fairly decent against the rush, Don, but what Thomas did that time, he was following Calvin Hill and decided to go on his own route, so he went over to the left side. The offensive line of Washington is a very seasoned offensive line, so the stunts that Buffalo's running should not bother him that much.
Mike Thomas has now run the ball 5 times. He's gained 27 yards. We're told the wind chill factor brings the temperature to 8 above. Frank Grant gets a high one in there. Here's another penalty marker down, right at the line of scrimmage.
It looks like the officials are trying to get in the act awfully early. It's against the Skins. When he did it looked like he said the man was tackling the defensive player. Let's see who it's against. I don't know what player it is. But you can see that the chill factor is taking its effect right now because that ball was thrown very hard.
Holding, number 74.
Well, that's the second one against George Stark. Second penalty against him. But anyways, I was saying the chill factor is so great down that if the ball's thrown too hard, there's no way these receivers are going to catch it.
Second and long yardage coming up now.
good screen situation.
Second and 17 for the Redskins. Theismann goes to the draw, and Clarence Harmon runs headlong into Bob Nelson. Come into the game as a linebacker. So that brings up third and long yardage for the Redskins. Bob Nelson coming in as a linebacker. The Bills have 8 players that started the first game this year that were here at Buffalo in 1975, 8 offensive players. And that team scored over 400 points. So there is some personnel still here at Buffalo.
That's right. Mario Clark and Tony Green have 13 interceptions between them. So there's some guys back there who can get their hands on the football. Safety blitz.
Here comes Tony Green. They pick him up nicely. Theismann has the ball tipped, though. Very nearly intercepted. They picked up Tony Green, but somebody else got through. Bob Nelson tipped the ball, it looks like, 56.
Watch Tony Green on the right-hand side of your screen. Now, he's picked up by the backs, Harmon and Calvin Hill. But to the outside, we see Jones coming in, and it's tipped by the linebackers. It looked like Gillick tipped the ball. So they were going to Fugit, but the ball was tipped.
So now the Redskin drive comes up short, and there is Mike Bragg in the game to punt the ball. John Kimbrough and Keith Moody are back for the Bills. Kicking with a wind at his back. He hits it down. It's going to go carry into the end zone. So it'll be a touchback, come out to the 20. And there the Bills will go on offense for a second time. Right now we have 8 minutes and 25 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And it's still a scoreless game as the Redskins moved the ball but then came up short. Good. Well, we got some good crew in this booth here, too.
Yeah. See that sheepskin coat there right behind you? Yeah, there's some gloves in there. Okay, just give me the gloves. I appreciate it.
Right. They got this down to a fine art.
Right. I've got my gloves.
Good.
Thank you. There is another pocket. It's just difficult to find.
No, thank you, Chuck.
10 seconds. 10 left.
With Nick Bonacani, who's putting his gloves on right now. He's got that 305 area code blood down in Miami. This is Don Crickey at Rich Stadium. The Bills have the ball. They go up the middle to big Booby Braxton. Jim Braxton hits ahead. And there is Joe Ferguson, who's been in this cold many times. He's from Louisiana.
Well, not only has he been in this cold, there's the Giant St. Louis score, 7-0 in the first quarter. Redskin fans are happy to see that. But Joe Ferguson has been chortled, booed, applauded. He's had everything happen to him as a quarterback here with Buffalo.
I tell you, I've seen him a lot. I think he's a very, very good football player. He's underrated. They have people around him with Simpson and that kid can play. He's going to keep on pitching. He drills it down, and Reuben Gant got the football. Very nearly picked off by Kenny Houston, who came up to make a play on the ball. Brad Dusick knocked him down, but Reuben Gant, big guy out of Oklahoma State, who's playing out his option, takes the ball away. He's got the good gloves going also there, Nick.
That's right. Reuben Gant is a good tight end. 32 receptions for 524 yards this year. Many people think that Paul Seymour, who's been starting at tight end, should be an offensive tackle, and Gant should be the starting tight end. The reason he's playing today is because Seymour is hurt.
Chandler, 81 is in motion. First and 10. Here comes Roland Hooks. You got to work hard to get yards going wide against the Redskins. Brad Dusick was on the stop, along with the dancing bear Ron McDowell, who resides in the offseason in nearby Eden, New York. Former member of the Buffalo Bills.
You know, that was a great defensive team when McDowell played here at Buffalo. They had Sestak and Dunaway. And then they had McDowell. And they had a guy named Tom Day that very few people remember. It was one of the best defensive lines in football.
Well, they made a mistake letting McDowell get away. Big fella can still play in his 17th year. Jim Braxton and Roland Hooks combine on the carry, and actually the man went down with, here comes another back in, and a couple of penalty markers come floating down after the play was over.
The reason for the penalty markers there was some jostling going out on the right flank. Chandler went down and was hit by Williams, and then he retaliated, and Williams retaliated back. So let's see who it's against. It's against Washington for unsportsmanlike conduct, so they'll march off 15 yards against the Redskins. So that keeps the Bills' drive going. So it's on a 40-yard line of the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, you have to point out that this Bill team is, here we go.
Face mask, 15 yards, first down.
Didn't get a number. Let's see here now.
You see up the top of the screen, you see number 81 Williams and number 45 Williams and 81 Chandler. And look at Chandler's chin strap.
I'll tell you one thing, Gerard Williams is going to have a long afternoon going against Chandler all day. Straight ahead, the Bills run the ball up the gut, get it inside the 35-yard line. The wind is very much a factor now. Buffalo is way out of field goal range. They're kicking into a very strong gusting wind, up about 25 miles an hour.
Now, Roland Hooks, who took over when O.J. Simpson got hurt, has played well as far as carrying the football is concerned. The big rap on Roland Hooks is that he fumbles the football. He's had 6 fumbles in the last 3 games. So therefore, that's why they substitute back and forth between Collier and Hooks.
So that rap is pretty well founded, isn't it? Right ahead, Booby Braxton rushes ahead, and Braxton gets it down to the 29-yard line. He gets a first down. This Buffalo team is very difficult to assess. They went out to Seattle and were humiliated, you'll recall, by the Seahawks. Seahawks ran up, I think, 56 points on them. And then the next week, Buffalo went to New England and ended up beating the Patriots 24-14, and the game wasn't as close as that score. So they can get nasty, Buffalo.
Well, Roland Hooks in that ball game ran for almost 200 yards against the Patriots, which is not a shabby defense.
That might have been the clincher for the Patriots as far as their playoff hopes are concerned, that loss. Buffalo also beat Atlanta here 3-0. They go right back to the run. This time the Redskins close it down as those linebackers fill quickly. The knockdowns at the 30-yard line for a loss of a yard. It'll be second down and 11. Mark Murphy, or Jake Scott, came up. Your old pal from Miami.
Oh, Jake the Snake. I think he's well respected on the Washington Redskins. The people love him in Washington. The man will play hurt. He played against the Dallas Cowboys with 3 broken ribs when no one expected him to even suit up.
You're still broken. Boy, he's some player.
He's an exceptional athlete. He and Kenny Houston are 2 tough cookies. Some think Kenny Houston's the best defensive back in football.
Pretty high rating. Terrific player. Here comes Ferguson taking a look, swings it out. John Kimbrough is looking around at somebody who was ready to bang him right in the small of the back. Joe Lavender. John Kimbrough took his eye off the ball.
Well, if we had a shot of that, we show people what they mean when you say they hear footsteps. Footsteps are those things, are the crashing of the feet on the turf when you're about to catch the football, and that's what he heard. He was waiting for the hit before he had the football. There's Joe Lavender, one of the few men in the NFL who wears glasses. Bob Greasy, the quarterback from Miami, one. Joe Lavender, another one.
Chuck Muncie.
Chuck Muncie, the running back from New Orleans.
I think we got them all. I think that's it.
Not bad ball.
3rd and 11 for Buffalo. The Skins drop back in zone coverage. Ferguson almost loses, puts it up. Chandler catches the ball and loses it. Chandler had the ball, but Houston put the big hit on, the big hurt, and the ball popped free. It doesn't often when Chandler gets it.
Yeah, when Chandler gets his hands on a ball, it's normally automatic first down or reception. There he had possession of the football for a split second, but Kenny Houston, like he does so often, stripped him of the ball.
Give you an idea of the win. There's Marv Bateman in the punt, even though the ball's at the 30-yard line. They know they've got no shot at a field goal going into the win. He'll be angling the ball, big rush. Hits it straight down. Well, that was about as poorly done as you're going to see.
Well, that's ridiculous because all they gained were 10 yards.
Well, the first time we were here, Dave, it was 3-0. Atlanta, remember?
That's right, 3-0. And Buffalo really could have tied it. I mean, Atlanta could have tied it up. Remember, they were driving down. So what the hell? Something happened.
They went for a 4th down.
4th down play.
Ran the ball, to pick a field goal.
Should I give one verse? Oh, come on.
The Buffalo Bills would like to welcome CBS Television and broadcast team.
Good morning, County. Welcome,
Buffalo. Friendly play.
They just welcomed us here to Buffalo, Marv. That is the win factor here in Western New York. The big flag is straight out. 1st and 10 Redskins. No score in the first quarter. 4:11 to play in it. Mike Thomas turns upfield. Thomas is picking his way through the Buffalo defense and is knocked down to the 29-yard line. Got about 9 yards on the play. Mike Kadish knocked him down. How did Miami? They drafted him number 1, then cut him, huh?
Well, the thing, the book on Mike Kadish is he came down to Miami about 30 pounds overweight, and so Shula told him, look at Mike, you need to take off the 30 pounds, and he reluctantly did so, and Shula thought he had sort of a bad attitude, but we just felt it was the youth in him. If given an opportunity, he could have made the ball play.
He's been Buffalo's best lineman on defense. Clarence Hyman runs the ball. Looks like he has a first down. Cape took it across the 30-yard line. Sherman White, 83, and Bill Dunston on the stop. As the first quarter clock winds down, 3:25 and running, still no score on the board. The Redskins in their first possession ran the ball well, particularly Mike Thomas. Got it down to the 30-yard line of Buffalo. Then a penalty against the Skins took them out of range, and passes were incomplete, and finally they punted the ball. They did move the ball in their first possession. Now it is 1st and 10, and here comes Theismann sprinting out. Fugate was there, and Grant was there, and was perfectly thrown between them.
Well, it was good coverage on that. It was a sprint-out pass, meaning Theismann sprinted out to his right. And the Buffalo defense of that did real well. They all came over, flooded their area with defensive players, and Theismann could not find anybody open. Don, you're from Buffalo, and I played many games here. You know, and I look around the stadium and see probably 20,000, 25,000 people here. I mean, it's almost sickening because they are great fans here.
Well, 2 years in a row, they led the NFL in attendance. Just 3 years ago, last time. 80,000 a game. Dan Gillick makes the stop. This, of course, is a working town, and it's not an expense account ticket. It comes out of people's pockets, and if the Bills don't win, they don't. If they do win, they fill the place. The Giants continue to lead the Cardinals 7-0 on that 15-yard run by Bob Hammond in the first quarter. So the St. Louis Cardinals have a problem right now playing at the Giants ballpark. The Giants were humiliated by the Cardinals, you may remember, 5 weeks ago. Lost 28-0 on a Monday night. The Giants might be a little angry today.
Oh, yeah.
Theismann looks on 3rd and 11. Lets her rip, and Danny Bugs had the ball and lost it. Awful tough to catch a hard-thrown ball in this weather, but Bugs almost had it. On the defense was Dwight Harrison.
Well, that was a great hit by Harrison because Bugs was just tucking the ball away, counting the first down, and Harrison just stripped him of it. Now, getting back to the crowd factor, you know, the Buffalo Braves and the Buffalo Sabres, you can't buy a ticket to the Sabres games, Don.
No.
They say that you have to put in on a waiting list. The Sabres in the National Hockey League and the Braves in the NBA.
Yeah, they draw if they give them something to go out for. Bragg hits a line drive downfield. The wind at his back. Keith Moody fields the ball on the run, loses his footing, and then gets waffled. Coming down to make the play for the Redskins. Looked like might have been Mark Murphy, young guy out of Ron McDowell's also down on the play. He guy covers some ground. Still 0-0.
Yes. Be our guest. You're nobody when nobody loves you.
Okay.
Dodge is the car of the Buffalo Bills this year. The Bills are pleased to be associated.
Can I give a little your nobody? Nobody loves you.
Thank you. 78 Dodge cars and trucks and your local Dodge dealers.
Don Cricky with Nick Bonacani back at Orchard Park, New York, and that is the story of Buffalo's season. 2-9 and
no people.
Nothing out there. Well, there's some there, but not like usually. It is 1st and 10 now for the Buffalo Bills. Again, they bring Chandler in motion. They're trying to throw Gerard Williams as many problems as they can. Handoff goes right up the middle. Bills move it out. Braxton carries. Hits the ball out to the 39-yard line.
In Atlanta, Don, New England leads Atlanta 3-0 on John Smith's field goal, 36 yards. And then Pittsburgh, I guess they're playing at, no, Seattle's playing at Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh leads 7-0 on Terry Bradshaw's 5-yard run.
Tell you one thing, the Steelers are starting to smoke a little, aren't they, Don?
Oh, yeah. But New England and Atlanta is a very important game because both of those teams are fighting for a playoff spot.
Second down coming up, 2nd down and 5. Ferguson takes a look, fires in the flat, and Lavender screens off the ball nicely. It was intended for Bob Chandler, and I think Ferguson intentionally triggered it high because Lavender was right there.
Well, he took too long to throw the football. He went back and he looked, and by that time Lavender had recovered and came up. Had the ball been thrown perfectly, Lavender would have been in the end zone for a touchdown for Washington.
So we have now coming up for the Buffalo Bills, 3rd down and 5. The ball is out to their 39-yard line. That is John Kimbrough, a rookie from St. Cloud State. He's a burnt out in the left flank, 82. Reuben Gant, the tight end, can go deep, and he splits out 5 yards to the right. Chandler at the top of your screen. Ferguson goes to the run, and the Dancing Bear makes the big play. Ron McDowell smelled it out, and the Bills will have to punt it back to Washington.
Well, they had a safety blitz on. Jake Scott was also there to help out McDowell if in case he missed him. So Washington must have known something.
Ron McDowell makes those smart plays game after game.
You talk about a loved ball player. Boy, do they love him in Washington. I think the older he gets, the more respect he gets.
Dan Deerdorf says he plays the run better than anybody's ever been against. A poorly punted ball. The wind had something to do with it. It takes a Washington hop back the other way, so the Redskins are going to get good field position to start this drive at their 47. Bateman has given the Bills nothing so far.
That's what you call a shank shot. The shank shot going off to the left, so Washington will come back on about the 45-yard line. Good field position.
St. Louis tied the game.
They would have to tie it. Joe, how you doing? Boy, 3 stiffs for that.
Huh?
3 stiffs.
You remember Hank Gruden. Hank Gruden.
There's a
Class of 62 well represented here, eh, Hank?
Hey, can you guys get the air conditioner? I smell some alcohol emanating from the top row there.
Okay, now the Cardinals have come back on the right arm of Jim Hart, who just threw to Ike Harris, and that game in New Jersey is tied up at 7-7. It is tied up here also as we start the final minute of the first quarter, 0-0. Theismann takes a look, running men deep now, puts it up long. Fugit going for the football, but it comes in way too long. That wind is very strong behind Theismann. He had much more than he needed on that.
He likes Fugit. It's obvious he likes Fugit, and Fugit has reacted this year with 28 receptions, with 3 TDs, but that time he was well overthrown.
Big thing, Fugit catches the ball deep. He's averaging over 19 yards a catch.
Big game there, Don. Denver and Houston 0-0 in the second quarter. Two good defenses. And Pastorini to the White Shoes Johnson. They could put it on nothing flat.
Second down and 10 now for the Redskins. Theismann fakes the draw. They give him some time, and now Gillick starts to run him down. He gets the ball away in a desperation effort. So the Redskins are not getting the ball downfield very well right now. Ben Williams put the rush on him. The Redskins, it's incredible how many times their quarterbacks have been sacked. 47 times so far this year.
I thought it was a misprint when I first read it, but it's true.
Theismann's been sacked 29 times. Billy Kilmer 18 times while he was in there. Theismann has thrown the ball 7 times so far, has completed just 1, and that was for 10 yards.
Gene Fugit graduated from a small school up in the Berkshire Mountains of Amherst. Same place that Doug Swift came from. There's George Allen. He'll lick his fingers. There it goes.
Bill Kilmer's a little apple-cheeked out there today with that cold blowing on him.
He would rather be a quarterback than on the sideline.
3rd and 10. Theismann takes a look, swings it out. Nicely thrown, but Mike Thomas has got to work to get the first down, and he does. Tony Green knocks him down, but the Redskins come up with a big 3rd down play. On 3rd and 10, they get about 15 yards in the first down. Watch Thomas.
Thomas out of the backfield. He's working on his safety. Now watch the field. You got to give the field a little credit for the first down. There we go. Freeman takes a fall on a frozen turf, and Thomas gets the first down. A big first down for the Skins.
Thomas plants those feet flat down, keeps his traction, and gets the ball down to the 39-yard line of Buffalo. That would be the last play of the first quarter. Gun sounds, and so the Redskins will now work into the wind, as we have, after the first quarter of play, no score on the board here in cold, cold Buffalo. I'm going off headset for a moment.
He's going to the head. Is the head's not permissible?
Yes, Tampa Bay is
Second quarter. 7, Denver, nothing.
the Redskins are moving the ball downfield now. They have it inside the Buffalo 40-yard line for a second time in the game. Still no scored up. We start the second quarter. Theismann taking a look deep. Lets her rip. Frank Grant going for the ball, and it's underthrown. And so that will bring up 2nd and 10 for the Redskins at the Bills' 39-yard line. Big game down at the Astrodome in Houston, and right now the Oilers are leading the Broncos.
7-0, Don, on Ronnie Coleman's run. That is a little surprising because the Denver Broncos do have such a great defensive ball club. But Houston also can score. Pastorini, Burrows, White Shoes Johnson, good offensive team.
2nd down and 10 coming up now for the Redskins. Handoff goes to Thomas. He tries to cut back. His feet fly out, and so it'll be 3rd and long yardage for Washington.
Well, with the turf assisting him on the first down, it hindered him on that down.
The Redskins for the rest of the first half will have very difficult field goals attempts because they'll be kicking into that wind. That flag has been straight out since the game started.
1 yard loss.
No, you wonder how Kilmer feels on a sideline after having played so many games for the Redskins, knowing they're only one game out of a wild card spot.
I know how he feels today. Cold. He'd like to be out there moving around. Here's a swing pass. Thomas has the ball and another first down. As Theismann led him perfectly with a little arc pass. And Mike Thomas has played a lot of football here for Washington today. Is knocked down by Freeman, but he gets a first down.
Well, what they're doing is they're putting the safety Freeman on Thomas, which is a good defensive tactic. But Thomas is beating Freeman on every play that time for a first down. So the strategy of Buffalo is not working, because normally a linebacker would cover Thomas coming out of the backfield, but they're using a safety, but to no avail.
So that brings up first down and 10 now as the Redskins drive on. They've been down this far before, but then it came up short on a penalty. Thomas has to work hard to get a single yard. Shane Nelson and Sherman White were on the stop for Buffalo. He's second and almost 10. He got less than a yard.
Well, that really hurts when you hit the turf that hard, Don. It's a frozen surface, and he was slammed down that time by Kadish and by Dunston. Those guys are trying to deliver blows out there, and Thomas is trying to make the moves, but the turf is really slippery.
It is second down and 10 coming up. Theismann throws. Fugit catches. Goes out of bounds inside the 20. Bring up third and about 3 now as Doug Jones knocked him out of bounds. Fugit turning out.
The Buffalo Bills are blitzing about 50% of the time. That time Gillick went, and Croker, the middle linebacker, also went. But Theismann read it and got the outlet pass out to Fugit.
Third down and about 3 coming up for the Washington Redskins at the Buffalo 19-yard line. A big play now. We'll see if Theismann tries to fire a short one or Mike Thomas run the ball again. Mike Thomas gets the call, and Mike Thomas again delivers for Washington. The money yards as he brings it inside the 15-yard line.
People here in Buffalo are booing every time they take Kadish and number 59 Nelson out of the game. And what they do is they put an extra defensive back in. You see Thomas here running against a nickel defense, which is not a good defense against the run, because you don't have a defensive lineman in there, and you take out a linebacker and you put in a couple defensive backs, and those defensive backs really don't play to run as well. So it has not worked for the Bills.
Thomas has gained 39 yards and 10 carries for Washington. Again, Mike Thomas is the first back through. Using a lot of that trap blocking, the Redskins.
Well, they do. They like to do is fake to the fullback, who is Calvin Hill, then come back and give it to Thomas on the inside trap. They're blocking with Ron Saul and Terry Hermling doing a cross block up the middle. So they're working on the guts of the Buffalo Bill defense, which is Kadish and Dunston.
Ball is now down to the 12-yard line. There's no score in the second quarter. 11:49 to play in the first half. Thomas and Calvin Hill, the setbacks for the Skins. Theismann looking over the middle. Here comes the rush. Theismann throws, and Fugit has the ball, and a first down, and maybe a touchdown. He's got it all. So the Redskins all of a sudden start to connect as Theismann drills it down to Gene Fugit on a broken play, and he just worked his way for the first down, kept on working, and got into the end zone.
It's called a lack of a pass rush, and Theismann has all day to throw the football. He looked for Grant, who was covered. Then he saw Fugit sitting on his sideline all by himself. Now this is just power. He just powers his way into the end zone, running over Doug Jones for a touchdown.
Dancing around on Little Cat's feet. Mosley now will try the point after. Hitting it into the wind, and he puts it right through the middle. Dallas Cowboys, Coach Allen says, were a little unfair with Mosley last week. They went after him when he kicked the ball off. So the Redskins drive down the field and put the first points up as you see Joe Theismann in the process.
Any pass rush you're on, they may have a sack or loss. They scored. Was it 14? No, 7-3. John Lightbolt cut by Buffalo.
Dad, I don't have a card. Heisman Trophy. I have it.
Second quarter. Pittsburgh 7, Seattle 3.
Hey, that's
Thank them very much, whoever they may be. They spelled the names right even.
That's your wife, Don. She's up here early.
All right. There it is, the drive. 53 yards in 11 plays. 4:16 it took, and Fugit was on the payoff end. Line drive is picked up by Bob Nelson, linebacker. He's sure one thing to get both arms around it because he didn't run with it often. A very interesting show coming up next Thursday night here on CBS, as perhaps the most prestigious single award in American sports, the Heisman Trophy, will be presented live on CBS. Elliott Gould and O.J. Simpson host an hour of entertainment on the 1977 Heisman Trophy special. Among the many stars appearing will be Phyllis George, Reggie Jackson, Connie Stevens, Leslie Uggams for the presentation of this great award. That's at 10 Eastern Time, 9 Central, here on CBS. Jim Braxton runs ahead for Buffalo. Again, he crashes out for a gain of about 5 yards. Knocked down on the play by the middle of the Washington defense.
Seattle-Pittsburgh, Don. Seattle got a field goal from an ex-Buffalo Bill, John Leipold, 20 yards. So the score is Pittsburgh 7, Seattle 3. That's in the second quarter.
Here at Orchard Park, New York, the Redskins lead the game 7-0 with 10:58 to play in the first half. Mike Cutler, recent acquisition, runs the ball, and looks like he has a first down for the Bills, and he gets it out to midfield. Brundage knocked him down along with Ron McColl.
You know, they're running the ball very effectively. Braxton's running good, Hooks is running good, and here you see Collier just using his bull. He runs over my buddy Jake Scott, and Kenny Houston finally brings him down, but not after he gets a first down.
First and 10 for the Bills now. They run the ball. They have the wind at their back. They got the speed on the left flank, and John Kimbrough. Here is the handoff as Roland Hooks takes a look and fights his way down to the 45-yard line. Got pretty close to 5 more before Dusick hit him hard along with Jake Scott.
The problem with that is I think Hooks did a little bit too much looking. If he did a little bit more running, I think the play would have been more productive because he has Reggie McKenzie, number 67, leading the play. He stutter-stepped a little bit and got 5 yards.
Second and 4 on the 44.
So the ultimate gain on the play is almost 6 yards. They're making it second down and 4 now. Sun starts to shine as Chandler comes wide right. Pitch back goes to Mike Collier. He crashes it. He's got a first down as Buffalo's moving the ball on the run right at Washington. Mayor Clinton finally made the tackle, but it's another Buffalo first down.
Mike Collier is a quality back. They picked him up from Pittsburgh, and here he is just following the blocking of number 88, Reuben Gant. He bulls his way for the first down. You know, the team seems to be playing a little bit better, believe it or not, since O.J. Simpson left. I think there was a little resentment of O.J. A lot of people thought last year they should have traded him and got some quality players.
A lot of the players like to see some of the 700,000 he gets this season spread around a little more. Roland Hooks running and dancing. Boy, that Delamalier is coming out and just blasting guys. You ought to see number 68. Watch him, the right guard. He is just taking Washington Redskins and putting them flat on their back.
You see Hooks, but look for 68. Delamalier drills Kenny Houston, knocks him flat on his back. Chandler gets in the way, and Hooks gets the first down. But that block by Delamalier down, he flattened Kenny Houston and gave Hooks the running room. Delamalier really, again, another legitimate all-pro on this ball club. One of the best guards in football.
The Players All-Pro team, he is first string every year. First and 10, right back to the run, and Braxton hammers it up the middle, takes it inside the 25-yard line. Gain of about 3 on the play. On the stop was Harold McClinton.
I think Reuben Gant is down on the ground, and if he's hurt, that's going to be a problem for Buffalo because Paul Seymour, the starting tight end normally for the Bills, it's also hurt.
But he's coming out in the field right now, hurt and all. Paul Seymour is starting to come in.
Looks like Reuben Gant is grabbing his face or his head.
Well, while Reuben Gant is down, the Bills have a timeout on the field. 8:45 to play in the first half, and the Skins lead at 7-0.
All right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Braxton drills him. All right. You going right to the disc, Marvin? It's going right to the disc.
Well, we will, yeah. We're going. Watch, I'll do it.
Here's the play where Reuben Gant was shaken up. We can report that he's okay. He walked off, but to see Braxton crash into him, his own fullback.
Good block by Gant, but you can see number 34, Braxton, right there, drills him in the back. Looks like he hurt his knee a little.
Seymour is in the game now as the tight end with the bad shoulder. Ferguson looks. Oh, the ball is intercepted by Gerard Williams. Big play by Williams. Gerard Williams with perfect position takes the ball away. They're looking for Chandler, and Williams comes up with an excellent defensive play.
Ferguson's looking at Chandler all the way, but so isn't Gerard Williams looking at Chandler all the way and just steps in front. An easy interception for Williams, and it kills the Buffalo drive. And Washington has the ball on the 14-yard line of the Skins.
Very interesting event coming up following this game. The Mixed Team Golf Championships from Largo, Florida. Some of the top men professionals team with some of their friends on the distaff side, some of the top lady pros. The Skins run the ball, but the Buffalo defense comes out smoking and makes the big hit, and there's no gain on the play. Gerard Williams, who's been victimized a few times this season, just got the ball back for Washington on an interception.
Buffalo's blitzing on almost every play when they think it's going to be a run. That time, Gillick went again. So let's see if they go with the linebacker blitz or the safety blitz this time. It's a blitz.
And Washington goes to the run on that blitz. They're not getting much because all those gaps are filled, and now the Skins will have third down and long coming up as they're unable to move the ball very far. Washington is leading the game 7-0 on the touchdown pass from Kilmer to Gene Fugit.
There we go. They tied it up in the second quarter. Denver 7-7 with Houston. That was a Craig Morton pass to Riley Odoms. Big Riley, 13 yards. Second quarter, 7-7.
Now, Theismann and the Redskins working into the wind here in the second quarter, leading the game 7-0 with the second quarter half gone. At third down and 10 coming up. Theismann puts it up on the run, and that was nearly picked off as Tony Green had a play on the ball. Mike Thomas, the intended receiver, but the ball was not near to a completion. It was near to an interception, though. Green had a play.
I tell you, he has 7 on the season right now. He's been hurt, Don, on and off for the last couple of years. But he's one of the best safeties in the game. And deep for Buffalo is Keith Moody, but that flag is straight out, Don. He's kicking, Bragg is kicking straight into a real fierce wind. So the Bills should get good field position.
Tony Green was a good track man at Maryland, ran the 109.5. And here is the punt by Mike Bragg downfield. And Buffalo's going to get pretty good field position, although despite the wind, it's going to roll all the way out to the 48-yard line of Washington. Bragg did his job very nicely into the wind, and so the Bills take over the football, trailing in the game 7-0. Their last possession, you'll recall, they ran the ball very well at Washington, then put it up and lost it.
Back into the Buffalo lineup.
Rubin's back.
Yep. Huh? That's fine. No, just like this is fine. Right. No, it's one guy. Back at Orchard Park, New York, the Buffalo Bills have the ball. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line of Washington. The Skins leading the game in the second quarter, 7-0. Buffalo runs the ball, and Roland Hicks gets a good cut. He knocks back down inside the 45-yard line. Houston came up to hit him. Ron McDowell was on the play. But the Bills gain about 4 yards, 4.5 yards in the play. They get 2nd down and 6. Gant is back in the game now, Nick.
That's right, which means that they can go to the tight end because he's a good receiver. They're shuttling the plays in between Collier, number 35, and Hooks, number 25, so Ferguson is not calling his own plays.
Braxton hits ahead and doesn't get too much as those Redskins were looking for the run. Ron McDowell, Dyron Talbot were on the stop. McClinton also filling on the play. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4 now for Buffalo. The Redskins with a 7-0 lead, 6:07 left to go in the first half. At the moment, the Dallas Cowboys are getting set to go against the Philadelphia Eagles down at Irving, Texas. The St. Louis Cardinals are presently tied 7-7 with New York, the Giants. Pitch back. Roland Hooks looks for a hole, and the Skins knock it down short of the first down carry. Ron McDowell again on the play along with McClinton and Bill Brundage on the stop. Now Pittsburgh has annexed its lead to 10-3 on a field goal by Roy Girella. 10-3 over Seattle. Steelers holding to a 1-game lead in the AFC Central. 1-game lead over the other 3 teams in the division.
Incredible division.
Pretty good division.
Just like that West Division out in the NFC.
Bateman hits the ball. Angles it. This time he gets the roll he was looking for, and it's picked up on the run by Eddie Brown, who quickly steps out of bounds. He sees a wave of blue shirts ready to walk him.
Brown on the return, flag down.
The CBS Sports Spectacular on December 17th with a great trio of events. You'll see the World Welterweight Boxing Championships between champion Carlos Palomino and Jose Palacios. In addition to that event, you'll also be watching the National Hot Rod Championships from Ontario, California, with people like Shirley Cha-Cha Mildowney and Big Daddy Garlitz. And then the U.S. Professional Arm Wrestling Championships. And you'll also be seeing the World's Strongest Men competition as they complete the decathlon events with the tug of war.
I wonder who won the refrigerator race yesterday.
That's right, Leif. They had running 40 yards with 400-pound refrigerators on their backs.
The leftover turkey.
And they had the 1 week they were throwing car tires. I think it's throw it rather. Somebody says one guy's throwing it like a frisbee.
Bending steel bars.
Official timeout on the field briefly as they get things organized. Apparently there's a penalty marker down, and Tony Green's saying, what's it for? So Ben Bright's going to tell us now after a conference.
They're discussing it. They want to check to see if the penalty's in the rule book. If not, they can go to the owners' meeting in Hawaii.
Usually when there's these long conversations, it turns out that the penalty marker fell out of somebody's pocket.
Illegal use of the hands on the defense.
Aha. Automatic first down for the Redskins. Illegal use of the hands.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah. Skins will accept that. So it is a first down for Washington just across their 20-yard line. Mike Thomas runs, and a lot of blue shirts are there to fill on the play. Knocked down Kadish at 270. Led who threw for 231 yards last week against the Cowboys. Had trouble getting started in the wind here today. He's been pitching the ball better. That one's tipped up. Doug Jones made a play on the football. Had he been able to get to it, he'd have gone right into the end zone. This thing would have been tied up or a point away from being a tie. The ball was tipped by Kadish.
Like you said before, Don, he's been playing the most consistent football as a defensive lineman for the Bills. Let's see it right now. That's number 71, Mike Kadish. He's a left tackle in the upper part of your screen. Watch the hand go up. He tips the ball by Theismann. Now watch Jones come out. We didn't see that. That's all right. We'll catch it next time.
Theismann is now 5 for 14 for 57 yards and 1 touchdown. Third down and 7. Fumble. Buffalo has the ball. No, they do not. The Skins have it. The Redskins got the ball back. But it is short of a first down. It looked like Gene Fugit. No, it was not Gene Fugit. It was Ron Saul, 64, who got there. Very nearly Buffalo's football in Washington's end of the field. But Ron Saul is quick to the ball.
Thomas never controlled the football, and he got drilled by Sherman White. Yep. Calvin Hill had a shot at. Croker had a shot at it. Sherman White almost had another shot at it. 4th down and 1 yard. That's the way it ended up.
So with 3:55 of the clock running to go in the second quarter, the ball's going to be punted back now to Buffalo. Mike Bragg in the game, standing back at his 15-yard line. Redskins lead 7-0. Low punt. But it takes a Washington roll, and Keith Moody is not going to let it go. Not going to pick it up, and it rolls all the way down to the 30. So Bragg is punting well into this wind, rolling the ball at him. There are some great bowl games coming up on CBS. On Christmas Day, December 25th, you'll see Penn State, one of Joe Paterno's best teams ever, against an always tough Arizona State team. That's the Fiesta Bowl. Then on Saturday, December 31st, Stanford, with its All-American quarterback Guy Benjamin, goes against LSU, both those clubs with 8-3 records through the season. And then on Monday, January 2nd, the big bowl game, top-ranked and unbeaten Texas goes against Notre Dame. In a game that probably will decide the national championship, as last night Notre Dame closed out regular season play, beating Miami of Florida at the Orange Bowl 49-10. Ferguson throws, and the ball is caught nicely by Roland Hooks. He is ahead for a pickup of 8 yards on the play. Roland Hooks getting in front of the pass coverage, it looked like, Dick, and going up to get it.
That's right. Mike Curtis, number 32, had the coverage of Hooks. Mike Curtis is the second leading tackler on the Washington team this year, and there's going to be a problem that will arise when Chris Hamburger, who had a knee injury early in the year, came back and is ready to play, and Curtis is playing so good, Allen's going to have to make a decision.
Mike Collier runs the ball and crashes right through the Redskin defense down to the 48-yard line. So with 2:50 left to go in the first half, Buffalo again runs the ball at Washington, and with good success.
These things don't happen by accident. It all starts with the tight end Ruben Gantz block, and number 34 Jim Braxton making a good block here. And Collier sees some daylight to the inside and knifes his way down for a big first down for Buffalo. They're on the drive.
First down on the 48.
So far, Roland Hooks has run 8 times for 27. Braxton has 29. Collier has 38 yards in just 5 carries. Over the middle. Free football. Lavender separates the intended receiver from the ball. John Kimbrough is going for it, and Lavender almost had it back.
You know, that's a defensive coach's dream, to see a defensive back react like that on a ball. Because not only does it result in an incompletion this time, what it makes the receiver think when he goes back to the huddle is, I don't want to go back there again. A little intimidation, Don.
You were never much for that, were you?
Never. I never touched anybody coming over the middle.
358. 358.
Second and 10. Pitch back. Collier runs again. Boy, Buffalo's guards are getting out in front of the play, and they're getting yardage as we wind down now to the 2-minute warning. We have 2:08 left to play in the first half. The Redskins continue to lead the game 7-0. They scored in the second quarter on a touchdown pass from Joe Theismann to Gene Fugit.
We have an update. The Giants now lead St. Louis 10-7. Joe Danello field goal, 20 yards.
We'll be back in a moment.